Today we will discuss the shapes of state. There are various shapes of state. We will discuss one by one. That is compacted state, prorupted state, elongated state, fragmented state, perforated state, landlocked state, enclave state, exclave state, and buffer state. There are various type of shapes of states. So the first state is compacted state. In compacted form of state, its capital exists in the center of the state. The efficient to govern, distance from the center to boundary does not very beneficial to a small state. It's easy to set up communication system if capital is in a center. Example are Rwanda and Uganda are the best example of compacted form of state. You can run the compacted form of a state. Here are the best advantages and disadvantages of compacted form of a state we have mentioned in our lecture. These are the most easiest advantages and disadvantages of compacted form of a state. The next is landlocked state. Lakes are direct route to the sea, most common in Africa. 14 states are landlocked. Ocean access is a critical. International trade is a critical. Landlocked state must work with neighboring state to transport goods to them. In the Central Asian country like Kazakhstan is also the landlocked state. We have mentioned the most easiest advantages and disadvantages of landlocked state in our lecture through a slide share. You can also learn its advantages and disadvantages. The next is a prorupted state. Compacted state with a large projection extension can provide access to a source separate to the two states that would share a boundary. Example, Caprivi strip in Namibia. You can also understand advantages and disadvantages of prorupted state. It is very easy. It's just advantages and disadvantages of these states. Belgium and Bosnia Herzegovina are also prorupted state. You can take the example of Belgium and Bosnia Herzegovina. Okay, the next state is elongated state. Elongated state region can be separated from capital. Country may have a poor communication. Examples of included Chile and Norway. Elongated, those states which are extended in the lengthwise are called elongated state. Across length is along lengthwise is called elongated state. You can learn the advantages and disadvantages of elongated state from the slide share. Example are Chile and Italy are the elongated states. Okay, the next type of state we can here is a okay. Perforated state, a state that completely surrounds another state. Here is a mistake. A state that is completely surrounded by another state is called perforated state. For example, Lesotho is surrounded by the South Africa. Here, Lesotho is a perforated state that is surrounded by South Africa. And advantages and disadvantages are mentioned here. You can learn from advantages and disadvantages of the perforated state. It is most common and most important advantages and disadvantages of state are mentioned here. The next type is a fragmented state. A state that has a several discontinuous pieces of territory. Two types, and it may be separated by water and separated by another state or any physical barrier. Indonesia and the Philippines are the best form of fragmented states. You can also learn its advantages and disadvantages of fragmented state. It is most important and most easiest advantage we have taken from the data. You can learn from this type of advantages. Okay, the next country, is a buffer state, a relatively small country sandwiched between two large powers. The existence of buffer state may help to prevent a dangerous conflict between powerful countries. Like Mongolia act as a buffer state between Russia and China. So we have also mentioned the advantages and the disadvantages of buffer state. You can learn from the advantage and disadvantage of buffer state from the lecture. Okay, buffer states and another example we can also mention here is okay, uh, the next state is enclave state, as any small and relatively homogeneous region, a group surrounded by another large and different group or region is called enclave state. Enclave state, here is the point mentioned, C point mentioned, the Lesotho, that is in surrounded by the South Africa. This is here is a South Africa. Africa is a South Africa is enclave state. We have mentioned advantages and disadvantages of enclave. Okay, the next is a exclave state, a boundary territory that is part of a particular state but is separated from it by the territory of a different state is called exclave state. Uh, you can take the example of exclave state like before 1971, the East Pakistan was exclave state for Pakistan because it was separated between by India, so it was exclave. Now we can take example of Alaska is an exclave state of the United States of America, located in the northwest part of the North America. It is separated from the contiguous United States by Canadian territory. Please like and subscribe my channel to get the notification of our all lectures. Thank you so